Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back, should I say. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning and a lot to talk about. So you can see the cover art, Living in the Last Days, people dying of COVID. Last words, this can't be happening. It's not real. This quote comes from a story about a nurse in South Dakota who went viral within the last, 36 to 48 hours after she tweeted her experiences as a nurse in the hospital dealing with people who are dying of COVID. People who actually don't believe that they have COVID while they're dying of COVID. Again, we are living in the last days, my friend, we must discuss. Also, the Joe Biden team is getting praise, advanced praise, for something that I think a lot of black voters will want to know about. Okay, this could be confirmation that Biden and Harris are on the right track. It ain't everything, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign. I'll share that with you. Plus a smattering of other topics related to people, politics, and pleasure. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati media. Of course, brought to you by the good folks over at CDM, Sin Digital Media. Their mission is simple: amplify black voices. Hey, listen, folks, we'll get the show started in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes at the very latest. Please take a second to like and share today's show. All right, when you share the show, more people see it. Yesterday, almost 12,000 people saw this show. I'll say it again. Yesterday, almost 12,000 people saw this show. We are on the rise, family, and we're doing it together. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men, and sucker MCs get dealt with. We'll get started in about 90 seconds.
Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent. You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving all my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty talking about old. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'm spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the sky's the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been duck dog, getting to my new merch, color duck sauce on the new couch with my Chuck's on. Get the on with that hate. I'm big cool on the small chat, cause I know now that I'm all that. Got a hawk guy on the ball cat. Get the out of my face.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head.
And with that, let's get started. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are expected to be men. And of course, sucker MCs get dealt with. If you would like to test the limits of a dangerous force, that's your own brain. Feel free to do so at 513-873-7134. Good morning, good morning. Picking the locks to your brains and coming through blasting with another episode of the Nathan Ivey Show. All right, lots of things to talk about. Good morning. Please take a second to like and share today's show. As I said before, when you share the show, more people see it. Yesterday, nearly 12,000 people saw this show. That's just on Facebook. We ain't even talking about the audio. And we're living in a different age. We're living in the internet age, which is a great leveler. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's get into it. We need more brash talk from black men. We need more of that. I learned that last week. Like, I have a role here, and I'm going to revel in it. I'm going to sit in it. To all the winners, and again, I reached out via text to all the winners. So going back a couple of weeks ago, we were giving away some merch. Black Friday's coming up. I've got more merch that we've been working on that will make it available. If you'd like to, rock some merch that's particular for Ascend Digital Media or for this show. I mean, just took some of the flows and made t-shirts out of them. Then those will be available the week before up into and that weekend through Black Friday. We might even do that whole 2 weeks, quite honestly. And then if it's something you identify with or you want to rock with, cool. But to the winners, if we had like 5 winners, the merch is on the way. And I'm going to personally deliver it to it. All the folks who are in the Cincinnati area. I like that personal touch. And I can they say thank you for supporting the show in this platform face to face. I appreciate you. We'll do more. We'll probably do some more like Thursday, Friday of this week, give away some more merch. Here's what we were giving away. Or should I say people won. This dope Black Voices Matter sweat. We got it in different colors now and then some different variations of it. So if you're interested, keep watching and I'll let you know how you can win. It's real simple. All right, on today's show, I want to talk about numerous things. Not the least of which is, and I want to kick it off talking about a white female nurse from South Dakota went viral with her tweets because she was talking about some of the things that she had seen and dealt with. It's amazing, folks. We are really living in the last days. We really are. When people with COVID don't believe they have COVID. This woman was talking about how and tweeting about how people are coming into her hospital. She's a nurse and again, I'll say South Dakota, which is like the epicenter of in the entire country of the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? And they got a Republican suck MC governor up there that's playing politics. She's a mask denier. Well, if people want to wear a mask, man, listen, like I've been saying, I'm going to keep saying this. Leadership has to do what leadership needs to do. Sometimes you got to deliver hard truths. Not everybody's going to understand it or get on board. So what? If what you're doing is the right thing to do, you can't worry about what people think. Do it. You can't worry about it. Anyone that knows me will tell you that about me. If I think something is the right thing to do, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. That's what I'm going to do, period. Bar none. If we fall out, we fall out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if I think that's the right thing to do, that's what's going to happen. And these weak ass governors, this weak leadership around the country, it infuriates me because once again, we're seeing an example where human beings are just as worse as the coronavirus. We are the problem. All these feelings and empathy, that sounds good until somebody's dead. Then it's like, oops, my bad. We should have did the right thing. Leadership delivers hard truths at times like this. Tell me if you agree with that or not. Real leadership delivers hard truths. Might be hard to swallow, B, but it's going to be good for you. It's like castor oil back in the day or maybe some kind of medicine. You ain't going down. It's like, I don't like this. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. But let me put this back up for a second. So this white female nurse from South Dakota says that people are coming in, in some cases gasping for breath, and they can't believe that they really have COVID. She said in some cases, people would rather believe they have lung cancer than COVID-19. She said in some cases, their last dying words are, "This can't be happening. It's not real," as they're dying from the virus. Now, how do you deal with this kind of attitude? Someone is losing they're in the process of leaving this reality because of COVID and probably underlying conditions. And yet they still don't believe that it's true. I'm telling you, they got us, man. They got us. The powers that be got us. I'll say it again. We ain't ready for nothing in this country. We ain't ready. The vast majority of this country is either physically not ready or emotionally not ready or mentally not ready. We're not ready for no real hardships in this country. We are not our grandparents' generation. My grandparents was made of different stuff. That whole generation was made from different stuff. Today, we ain't ready for that. We ain't ready for it. I got the audio for you. I'll play it for you in a second. You got to hear it for yourself. It is amazing. It is amazing. Also, and this was brought to my attention this morning by a listener in the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a closed Facebook group. A lot of the folks that, listen to the show will populate that. I go there to post as well. I go there every single day, multiple times a day. I'm always in there, as a matter of fact, seeing what people are posting. I want this show to be a reflection of what you want to talk about in a lot of ways. And somebody posted a very interesting article about the Biden transition team. Have you seen this? Yeah, you got to see this. Biden fills economic posts with experts on systematic racism. Previous administrations haven't made race scholarship such a clear priority. So this is from Bloomberg. This is from Bloomberg.com. Again, here's the headline. Biden fills economic posts with experts on systematic racism. And so everybody knows that what you want to see from the Biden administration is diversity. Not just diversity in terms of not the same old white males, but diversity in terms of their philosophy. And this article, and again, this is still really early. It was just posted a couple days ago. This article suggests, or is applauding, should I say, Biden and Kamala Harris's efforts to diversify their incoming team. Because that's what I've said it myself, we want to see something different from Biden Harris. We don't want to see the same old rehashed people from the Obama administration, although you're going to get that because Biden was a part of the Obama administration, so it just makes sense. But we don't want to see the same old creatures from the Black Lagoon, from the Trump administration, and then the same old creatures from the swamp, from the Bush administration, and this person was in the Clinton administration. I mean, you're probably going to see some of that, but we want to see some new faces. The incoming president has tapped Mahershala Baradaran, whose books The Color of Money is a key reference on the racial wealth gap. How many people have read that book, The Color of Money? I have not read it. I'm not even sure. I don't think I have it. The wife, you may have it. I have to double check. but I have not read it. I've read a lot about it, and it talks very much so about the racial wealth gap. And she's going to prepare the Treasury Department for the transition. She's also joined by Lisa Cook, who is an economist from Michigan State University. And they're going to be a part of the landing team for the Federal Reserve and banking and securities regulators. I mean, hopefully we see more of this. Hopefully the people that are actually in the positions that matter in the administration and not just the consultants in the transition team will end up being people that understand that if you make efforts to close the racial wealth gap in America, then you'll lift all boats. You'll lift everybody. The efforts that it'll take, the policies that it'll take, the initiatives that it'll take to close that racial wealth gap. I feel the same way I'm in Cincinnati. I'm not sure where you are, but I feel the same way about Cincinnati, Ohio. The efforts, if you take the efforts to close the racial wealth gap between black and white households, you will at the same time lift everybody in this city. You lift everybody in the city. You'll create the Cincinnati everybody says they want to see. That's just my opinion. What do you think? 513-873-7134. I'd like to get your thoughts. Less important, you got the next versus battle coming up. Everybody loves these battles. It's a great departure during COVID-19. You can stay at home. You can get some music. It's great. You don't have to wear a mask. You can see some of your favorite artists. The next one, have you heard what's going to be? Anybody know what the next one's going to be? Gucci. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. So Gucci, and who else now? I've got some advanced thoughts I want to share with it. And is it true, Busta Rhymes and Eminem? I saw some people posted this. I'm like, I get it. They're both known as being lyricists, but they ain't really no versus battle. Come on, I love me some Busta. That new, what's that song? The track, Czar, from his new album. I like it. Classic Busta. I really like the video. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about this morning. 513-873-7134. Also locally. And I did last night receive some information from a source close to the pastor situation. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to reveal it. I was given the name of witness number 2. You know, there's 2 witnesses that were working allegedly with the, not allegedly, that were working with the FBI to get Jeff Pastor. We know who one of them was, right? Brother Ndukwe, Chinedum Ndukwe. But the second one has yet to be revealed to the public. I was told that name or a name that could be that person. Again, I can't corroborate this. This is information that's coming to me last night. I'm not prepared to put it out there at this moment. Stick around. Maybe I'll feel better in about an hour about it. We'll see. But there is some new information about this. So now the Attorney General, should I say, of Ohio is moving to suspend Jeff Pastor. So he's not going to be pushed off of council. He's going to be suspended. Apparently, state law allows for the Attorney General of the state to appeal to the Supreme Court of Ohio to suspend Jeff Pastor. And I don't know if it's with or without pay. I was told it's with pay until they get to the bottom of whatever happens. So he's not going to be pushed off of council. He's going to be suspended, right, with pay. And then if they find out or he cops a plea or whatever, then of course he'll probably be pushed off of city council. Either way, that's an opportunity for someone. I love to see the Republican Party put another black Republican on there. That's just me. I'm like that. If we lose a black female, I think you should put a black female. That's what the Democrats did. When Tamaya Denard was pushed off of council when she had to leave, they replaced her with a black female, Jan Michelle Lemon Kearney. And I want to see if the Republican Party has that same commitment to diversity. Like the local Republican Party keeps trying to tell us that we are just as good an option as the Democrat. Okay, I'm listening. So now you got an opportunity to prove that. And you can't tell me there isn't a black Republican. I want to see another. I take a black female, but I want to see a black male. And I like to see. Listen, I'm tit for that. I want to see a younger, like a millennial-ish black male Republican replace Jeff Pastor because that's what he was. So we don't lose that perspective. I think that's a very valuable perspective. There's some out there because I remember months ago before Betsy Sunderman was chosen, there was a long list of black folks, white folks, some of them were, in my opinion, millennials, black male millennials that were trying to get the Republican, get the Republicans to choose them to put them on council instead of Betsy Sunderman. I wish they had. But what did they do with Betsy Sunderman? Well, she took the place of a white female Republican that didn't give a damn about the black community, and she was replaced by a white female Republican that don't give a damn about the black community. So let's see the Republican. Let's see what Alex. Because let's say what you want, man. Christopher Smitherman is designated, but the Republican Party is going to make that decision. Why? Because if Christopher Smitherman runs for Hamilton County Commissioner in 2 years, he might run as a Republican. He's going to need them. He's going to need them. He don't want to piss. He ain't going to cross them. I'd be very surprised to see that. I would be very surprised to see if Alex Triantafilou, who's the Hamilton County Republican party chairman, I'd be very surprised to see if he, along with Christopher Smitherman, don't make that decision. I want to see a millennial-ish black male Republican, if in fact it goes that deep, because somewhere Jeff Praster and his crew is like, hold up, Nate, hold up, wait a minute, hold up, I ain't gone yet, B. Oh, okay. I'm with you. Yeah, I was running the sting on the sting. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. That might be a tough sell. That might be a tough one, but we'll see. I mean, I wish the brother the best. Like I said, I don't want to see nobody go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Especially no black folks. But that's what I want to see. If in fact it comes to that, I want to see a black male millennial-ish. I'll take a black female millennial-ish to be on council. We don't want to lose that perspective. That's a very valuable perspective. We need that fresh outlook. We need that millennial outlook on council. I think it's very, very important. They're going to carry us into the future. Why not? Why not? What do you think? 513-873-7134. Gucci gang. I'll be watching. They're saying that the Brent Spence Bridge might be down to like right before Christmas, y'all. So get ready for it. Get ready for it. It's going to be, Get ready for it. As I said, I'm working on many ideas for podcasts. Some are further along in that process than others. Last night I was running, I will call it a test for a podcast that I have high hopes for, that I hope to unveil to you. It'll be a live stream podcast produced by CDM. It is hosted by black females. You can say, people say, Nate, I see a lot of black females. Well, listen, I'm not going to turn down talent that I believe in because they're female. That would be the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know what's up with the men. I have worked out. As a matter of fact, I can't lie though. I am working with some black males as well, but it is what it is. That's a little further along in production, maybe within the next month or so. We'll see. But again, I mean, the opportunity, I keep saying it over and over again. I mean, it's the ladies that are stepping up. I can't control that. I'll say it again to any black men out there. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast or a live stream, you got an idea, hit me up. Perhaps we can work together. Some of these men in Cincinnati are different though. Everybody want to be a chief, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it 100%. But men are a little bit different. They have a different mentality. Some of them anyway. It is what it is. It is what it is. Life is good. Yeah, here it is. Bashir says Brent Spence Bridge should reopen by December 23rd. So it could be before December 23rd, but he's saying by December 23rd. Until then, you get what you get, family. It is what it is. We should have listened to Barack Obama when he came to Cincinnati. He was trying to tell us, but they didn't want to listen to him. It is what it is. Obama says that George Floyd made America come face to face with the black community's reality. Yeah. He's dropping a new book. That's why he was talking with 60 Minutes. Yeah, I can get with that. I can get with that. I think there's some truth in that. There really, really is. There really is some truth in that. I'll share it with you this morning. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I want to hear them. I want to hear what you have to say. Good morning to you. Let me go straight into the chop shop and say good morning to the choppers. Brian writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Brian. Tracy writes, hi. Good morning, Tracy. King Kobla writes, good morning. 4 more spliffs. Hey, get your medicine in, man. Miss D writes greetings. Sharp writes good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Brenda writes happy Tuesday. Pam writes good morning, all. Bougie guy out the projects writes good morning, folks. Hashtag protect black children or call the alt middle and we will. We here for the children anyway. Also, you must moisturize the back of your heels and your something, that fleshy part of skin between your thumb and the forefinger. You're right about that. Pam writes, love it, Nate, you popping. We popping, Pam. We popping. But more people have seen the show since it's been on Facebook. We should have did it a long time ago with the video part, but it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Hey, Fame, I was on your Instagram, man. You posted a crazy, funny meme. It was cracking up last night. It was it was the Chucky doll meme. That was hilarious, man. I got a chuckle out of that, bro. Thanks for that post. It was hilarious. You wild, man. But I agree. He was like, hilarious, man. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Ashley. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers, good morning. Hey, Cassandra, good to see you, as always. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag team and I, good morning. Pat writes, good morning. King Kobla writes, happy birthday, Queen Warrior Iris Rowley. I didn't know her birthday was today. Maybe I did remember that or saw something on post. Well, happy birthday to Iris Rowley, pillar in our community. Ray writes, grand risings all. Let me see. She writes, happy Earth Day triplet. Miss Tiffany writes, good morning. Jared writes, I read it. Dope book. Did you? The Color of Money? I should have read it. I know it's been out for a while and it's been highly favored and a lot of people said things about it. I've referenced it, maybe even read a quote or something here or there over the last few years. But you say it's dope? Well, the author of that book has been tapped by the Biden-Harris administration to be a part of the transition team. So what I can glean, I ain't telling you I got all of it figured out, but what I can glean is that he's going to be a part of, or that person's going to be a part of, putting people in place for the economic team. So if you don't know, what's being reported over the last two days is that the Biden-Harris transition team is getting praise and props for emphasizing bringing diversity into their new administration. And not just a lot of very smart, intelligent black people and women, but also people that have experience and a history dealing with the racial wealth gap. Like I said, somebody asked me, like, what kind of policies? Racial wealth gap, the money. Start right there. I disagree with these other people talking about, let's start with criminal justice. No. Start with the money. Start with economic justice for black people. Because when we have money, we can make it happen ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying these other issues are less important. People are like, well, we should start with reparations. No. Because reparations, in my opinion, don't necessarily start with the presidency. I think it starts in the states. We need a nationwide movement, state by state by state. It starts with the state legislatures, the kind of senators that we elect. I don't think that's a top-down thing, although leadership from the top would be very, very important. I say start with closing the racial wealth gap, helping to rebuild Black Wall Street all over the country. When black folks got more money in their pocket, then we can make our own way. Simple as that. It's the easiest thing. That's what you do with wealthy folks. But with us, they want to piecemeal it to us and all this kind of stuff and spoon feed it. No. Put that money right in this pocket. Then I'll make the best decisions for the people in this household. Me and the wifey will. Same thing with you, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. No, I'm right. I'm right about that. 100%. Start with the money. Start with the money. Crystal writes, good morning. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Clue Magic writes, grand risings, Nate and the Choppers. Mason Mahler's in the house. He writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flow is ready to eat for everybody. Hashtag pastor needs a Botham John hug. Hashtag Trump is the boyfriend who won't leave. Hashtag, hey, Mr. Watt. Yeah, Trump is still acting like a child. He's got no class. But he didn't have any class when he came into the White House. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything we see from Trump. Anybody surprised you haven't been paying attention? Here's a man who won in 2016 and still question whether there was election fraud because he didn't win the popular vote. So what makes you think he's going to be, what makes you think he's going to be a man of integrity now that he lost? Anybody see Michelle Obama's post in the last 24 hours on Instagram? I did. She said, she talked about how difficult it was for her to smile in the face of Melania Trump and Donald Trump during the transition. But she said it was the best thing for the country. I'm going to tell you, man, when it comes to class and respect and dignity, between the Obamas and the Trumps, it ain't even close. But that's black excellence for you once again, shining. In her Instagram post, she talked about how she felt like Donald Trump and his racist rhetoric, talking about the birtherism and show me your birth certificate, how it put her and her family in danger. And how it was so difficult for her to get over it when she had to be nice to Melania Trump, who, by the way, plagiarized one of her speeches and act like it was her own. But that's dignity. That's class. Just because you got money, the Trumps tell us one thing. You can have a lot of money and have no class. Money doesn't buy you class and respect and dignity because they don't have any. So I hope to see them drag Trump out of the White House like we saw those Hamilton County Sheriff deputies drag Tracy Hunter to jail in that Hamilton County courtroom. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? Heels on the ground, straight out of a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Right out the room. I love that. That's what I'm waiting for. Be honest with you. I had to be completely honest with you. All the Trumps. I know we had some trolls yesterday. Yeah, we love trolls. Your haters can be your biggest fans sometimes. Keep hating and keep sharing and listen to the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Keep right on doing that. We had a lot of trolls in the shop yesterday because of yesterday's title. We hit a nerve. we triggered the trolls, man. I'm 2 for 2. I'm 3 for 3. I love it. We're going to keep triggering folks. We're going to keep triggering. Good. I'm glad you triggered them. You need to be triggered in the morning. Good. That's why I'm here. But we triggered a few folks yesterday. I went back and read some of the comments and people are all caping for Trump. I mean, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. But personally, I would love to see the Secret Service at 12:01 on whatever it is, January 20th, 21st. Turn around. They go from protecting Trump to turning around and grabbing his ass and dragging him out of the Oval Office. I'm here for all of that. I'll get some popcorn and everything. That'll be great. I would love it, man. But shout out to Michelle Obama. She said that she had to get beyond her feelings and do her job. And her job as the first lady during the transition was to try to answer all the questions that Melania and or Donald Trump had. And she said that she and Obama did that. Props to them. Class. Props to them. Trump has no class. He never had any class. So, the Trump show, at least this manifestation of it is coming to an end. Trump ain't going nowhere, folks. Anybody a part of those Republican emails? Like if you're on my Patreon feed, from time to time, I'll post some of the emails I receive. These dudes, man, are still asking people for money. Up to yesterday, still asking for money. The tone of those emails has only changed within the last 24 hours, where it's kind of like, well, instead of begging for money for the Trump defense fund, the legal defense fund, because none of the lawsuits really mattered. I think only one of them was really taken seriously or had any merit to it. And it only impacted about a dozen or so votes or 50 votes or something like that. I mean, nowhere near enough for Trump to actually win. So it's becoming more and more clear to the Trump fantasy cult that Donald Trump, in fact, lost. And this is the circus is leaving the town. They're going to a new town. It's only now happening. Jeff is through. The whites aren't buying the sting of the sting. You sound like Dave Chappelle, man. Jeff is through. The whites aren't buying the sting of the sting. Yeah, that's more that Fantasy Island type stuff. Get to the plane. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. No, bro. I mean, I don't want to shut the door on it because I'm not close enough. Although I did receive an email with some of the details. I think this stuff is all public about the what was written from the Attorney General to the Supreme Court. And it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good whatsoever, man. Oh, man, it's not looking good at all. This is a little different. We'll see how it all goes. But I agree with you. The whites are not buying the sting of the sting. The whites. That's hilarious. Jane writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Jane. Mrs. Love being black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful, smart choppers. Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to both of you. Hey, Jane. Mrs. Love being black. Always good to see you both. Bourgeois guy out the projects writes, LOL Chucky, I know which one you mean. Oh, that was hilarious, man. It was just something about Chucky's face. Oh, man, I'm in a different spot now being married, but every man knows that, right? Every man knows that, that frustration. I mean, these days, man, you can't trust nobody, so do what you got to do. Sister Iris, good morning to you and happy birthday. She writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Mason Mahler writes, preach, Nate. We need serious professional people making serious suggestions. Day and Drano don't qualify. Now, why you say Drano, man? You know that's disrespectful to our culture. Talking about some Drano. CG Dub writes, good morning, choppers. Good morning to you. Start with the money and economic education. I'm with you all day long. Start with the money and economic education, man. It's so key. It's so key. It's so key. Where do we start? Do we start with reparations? Well, you know, put that on the wall, but no, let's start with closing that racial wealth gap. Putting in long-standing policies that will close that gap. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what white America owes black America. You want to be real with it? Y'all owe us a whole lot, quite honestly, but let's start right there. The destruction of our black wealth building machines, our own little ecosystems, because you got in your feelings. Hey, they're living like us. Let's burn it down. Yeah, it's had a long lasting and a ripple effect through multiple generations. And it goes to describe why you see what you see today. And if you can't get down with that, either you're ignorant as hell or you're racist as hell. You choose. Anybody running for city council that don't understand that can't get my vote, period. Anybody running for mayor that don't understand that cannot get my vote, period. Period. We ain't got to talk about nothing else. We can stop right there. If you don't understand that, if you're not running to close that gap, then what you running for? What you going to do? Tell me what's more important here in the city of Cincinnati than closing the racial wealth gap.
Amen. Nothing.
I can't think of anything. There's a lot of issues. Criminal justice. We got a whole bunch of issues. But that right there on a national, regional, local level should be number one. Because again, when you empower people, then people can do for themselves. What's that adage that you can, fish for somebody or teach them how to fish? Well, if you teach us, if you empower our families, if you empower the next generation of black creatives and entrepreneurs, then we'll handle the rest, homely. We got it. You know what I'm saying? Just drop the cash. Drop the cash and make it accessible for those that want to access it. We'll do the rest. Does somebody need to come to your house and tell you how to take care of your family and manage your budget? No. Drop that cash. Simple as that. Crystal writes, morning, Iris, happy birthday. Okay, so it is real. In the words of one of the greatest street poets, you can pay for school, but you can't buy class. I know that's right. Trump has no class whatsoever. He's super, super ashy. No class whatsoever. But we've known this. I ain't telling you something you don't already know. We've already known this. We saw this. Come on, I'm going to grab him. You can grab him by the ussy. Why would you want to? What kind of man wants a woman that don't want him? She don't want you, B. Keep on moving. Simple as that. A lot of fish in the sea. I don't get these guys. Let me circle back around here. I want to circle back around and talk about the title here, because what are we, almost 45 minutes into the show? I want to play this audio for you. Let me pull it up real quick. I want to play this audio for you. You got to hear this, man. This is crazy. Crazy talk. This is from CNN. This is crazy talk, man. It really is. In the sense that it's really hard to believe. Local couple shares story after wedding becomes a super spreader event. That's why the governor had to shut it down. You can't dance at weddings anymore. Well, you can, but it's against the governor's mandate now. These things went in effect yesterday at, I think, 12 noon. So after the show yesterday, the governor's mandate, and it only applies to it only applies to certain gatherings, weddings, funerals, things like that. It's Footloose, man. Where's Kevin Bacon? Footloose. You might know that musical was all about this town in which the teenagers couldn't dance. And then Kevin was from New York. So he was from a different reality, and he was going to dance no matter what. And he brought the love of dance back to all the white teenagers. I think they were in Kansas or Missouri or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's a classic musical. Yeah, and that's the gist of the story. The white dude wanted to dance. He's like, we can't dance here? Psh, I'm going to get my boogie on, right? And then, by the end of the movie, everybody's dancing footloose. You know what I'm talking about? Man, listen, do some homework. Bring your cultural IQ up. I don't care if you're a millennial or not. You're supposed to know these things. But that's the reality we're dealing with now in Cincinnati, in the state of Ohio. You go to a wedding, the governor's saying, don't dance. Sit down with your mask on. You can't have more than 10 people at the table because y'all super spreaders out here. I don't get it, man. I don't really get it. To me, there's no wedding. It ain't no wedding in the world that's that important to me personally. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It don't make a lot of sense to me, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So let me circle back around here. So South Dakota is like the epicenter of coronavirus fatalities. Like per capita, more people are dying in South Dakota of COVID than anywhere else in the country. And what I read actually, and I can't confirm this, it might be anywhere else in the world, quite honestly. And part of that is the leadership. The governor is a white female Republican in South Dakota, and she's a Trumpster. So she's running so close to Trump because Trump controls the base of the Republican Party that she can't come out and tell. She feels like politically it's not in her best interest to come out and tell people to wear a mask. So she's running around talking about wear a mask if you want to. Huh? I'm telling you, man. Oh, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Humans are worse than COVID-19. Humans are the real problem. It's not COVID-19. It's the humans anyway. So a nurse, white female nurse, went on Twitter and she starts tweeting about some of the things that she was dealing with. You ain't gonna believe this, family. Hold on to your seats. You are not gonna believe this. She starts tweeting about some of her observations, things that she's seen. It's amazing. And she said that people are dying with COVID-19, dying of COVID-19, whatever the correct, preposition, pronoun, whatever the fuck it is, whatever the correct way of saying it is, people are dying of COVID-19, right? She says, as they're dying of COVID-19, their last dying words are, quote, "This can't be happening. It's not real." Even after a positive test comes back, people just don't believe it. They would rather believe that they have lung cancer, she said. What? What? Lung cancer, COVID-19. I think lung cancer is far worse than COVID-19, in my opinion. But this is the world we live in. We are living in the last days. Her name is Jody Doering, Doering. You can go on Twitter right now if you doubt what I'm saying and check it out for yourself. She says she can't believe what's happening. People are coming in, cussing her out, mad at her because they're confirming that these people have COVID as they're wheezing and trying to get their last breath in. The medical professionals are telling them, hey, you got COVID. I don't have COVID. COVID isn't real. And they're dying. What the hell? This what we doing out here now? Is this what we doing? And that just tells you, man, just how powerful the words of Donald Trump and some of these anti-COVID people, these mask deniers, are in the hearts. For you to believe something like that, they hit you in your heart. And you've seen it. You've seen like TYT and other like progressive news organizations, and not even really like MSNBC. They'll go to these Trump rallies and ask people like, why aren't you wearing a mask? Well, if I get a mask, or if I don't wear a mask and I get COVID, well, damn it, that's my right to die. Huh? Like literally, I've seen it over and over again. It ain't even no stretch. I'm sure you've seen it as well. This is what we're dealing with. And I bet you there's people in the state of Ohio. I'm in Ohio right now. I bet you there's people in Cincinnati that feel the same way. Well, if I get COVID, I get COVID. They don't really give a damn about whether they get COVID, don't know about it, and spread it to you. That's why I circle back around and said that leadership has to be fearless, and tearless. Leadership, when we're dealing with something like this, has to deliver the hard truths. All that whining and belly aching and complaining, Miss me with all that. I'm gonna hit you with the Herschel Walker stiff arm on that one. No. Do what needs to be done for public safety. Period. Do what needs to be done. Just amazing. This is what she tweeted. People say going to ruin wait. All while gasping for breath on 100% vapor therm, which is something that's a part of treatment if you get COVID-19. They tell you there must be another reason they are sick. They call you names and will ask why you have to wear all that stuff because they don't have COVID because it's not real. So these are people then why are you at the hospital then? Like my thing about this, if you've got so much distrust, I guess, of the medical professionals when it comes to COVID, why are you at the hospital? Why don't you just pray to whatever God you pray to and they'll just instantly, magically heal you? Abracadabra, right? Abracadabra, you don't have COVID anymore. I guess that works. You better call Harry Potter. Maybe he can hit you with a spell or something. Call Voldemort or something. This is ridiculous. I don't understand. This is from South Dakota, by the way. I want to make sure it's not happening here in Hamilton County. But again, this is just a microcosm of what's happening all over the country, in my opinion. Like I said, I know black people. I got a person in my family, my little brother, dumb as a fucking rock when it comes to COVID-19. I said he might be listening this morning. Dumb as a rock when it comes to this. He's a very intelligent black man. But on this one, caught up in his arrogance and his feelings. Oh, man. I told you the story. I told you this happened way back in like March. He goes to the hospital super sick. Black man, so they don't even give him a COVID test. I'm not even sure they had those kind of tests at that point. So they send him home saying, look, you might have COVID, self-quarantine. This fool don't even self-quarantine. Run around here in the streets of Cincinnati talking about, had the nerve to knock on my door one day. We looked at the window like, what you doing here? Huh? I called him. I didn't even open the door. I'm telling you the truth. I called him. Huh? What'd you say? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Run around here talking about if I get it, I get it. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, Rambo. If I get it, I get it. Sounds all good until you can't breathe. If I get it, I get it. Yeah, uh-huh. I don't have no sympathy for him. And that's my family. I don't have no sympathy for it whatsoever. I have no sympathy for it. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you. I'll come to the hospital, maybe, if I'm allowed to. And I'll definitely send you a care package. I'll definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Get you some flowers and, get you some Starburst, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like Starburst to make dealing with COVID a little bit better, a little more manageable. But that's about it. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Good morning to you, Brenda. Greg writes, good morning, Grand Risings. Good morning to you, Greg, as always. Maxine writes, Grand Rising, everyone, the righteous truth. Good morning to you. Cass is on Facebook as well. She writes, good morning, Choppers. Greg writes, COVID is serious, but supposedly there will be some vaccines coming out that work. I think the more serious problem is the pandemic of hate. Well, speaking of which, the FBI said that last year there was more violence being committed by white extremist /supremacist than in recent history. Like 2019, there was more violence being committed by white supremacists than ever before in the United States. Who's surprised by this? I mean, these good old boys in the backwoods with their AR-15s and their Desert Eagles and all this other kind of stuff and their beer bellies, they've been waiting for an opportunity to come out. And Trump made it a little bit more in vogue. It is what it is. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Dale writes, watch out for the trolls, Nate. Oh, I know they coming. It is what it is. It is what it is. Tiff writes, good morning. Bari writes, good morning. Kelly's in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Hey, Kelly, I did get that info you linked at me. I just saw it this morning, so I haven't got a chance to look at it. But perhaps we'll talk about it tomorrow. Looks very interesting. Appreciate it. Florida Family writes, good morning. Dante writes, to be fair, you would also have to say that Obama contributed to this also. since it was increasing during his administration as well. Well, for a different reason. I think the fact that a black man, I'll put it this way. I think the fact that a non-white man was elected to be the president was like a fear factor for a lot of the white supremacists. And I said it yesterday, I said it again. You got to remember, man, I blame you, man. All you Obama supporters are out here dancing in the streets, getting your Lionel Richie on. You scared the bejesus out of the white supremacists. Talking about multiculturalism. They didn't want to hear no multiculturalism. What are you talking about? This is America. We stole this country from the red man. We stole this fair and square from the red man. Now you talking about multiculturalism a few hundred years later. We don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Y'all scared the bejesus out of people because you celebrated Obama and Michelle too much, talking about black excellence. Come on now. You can't do that. You can't do that without a consequence. So I think, yeah, the election of a non-white man to the White House did, in fact, spur the growth of some of these white supremacists because now they had a real example that America was changing. Like, wait a minute, what's next? They're going to be moving in next to me? My daughter's going to be one to marry one of them? You know, you can't scare some people. You got to tippy toe with some people, man. You got to tippy toe. KR Mitchell writes, good morning. Alicia writes, good morning, Nathan in the Choppers from the Gym City. Good morning to you. Tracy is in the house. She writes, good morning. Good to see you. David writes, good morning, Nathan in the Choppers with a lot of S's. Good morning to you. KR Mitchell writes, agree. Kelly's on YouTube. She writes, good morning. Krutha, she writes, Steelers. We ain't even talking sports. We're not even talking sports this morning. We talking about Steelers. Talking about Steelers. You damn Steeler fans. I low-key hate all of you. I low-key hate all your guts. Low-key. Oh, nothing serious. It's just, I'm a homer like everybody else. Like, I ain't like super glued to the Bengals every day or every Sunday or really any Sunday. But if I'm going to choose a team, I'm going to choose the hometown team. I mean, what kind of man would I be if I didn't choose the hometown team any day of the week? In the Cincinnati area, from what I see, everyone wears masks in public buildings. Yet COVID cases in Ohio are not going up or going up. I'm not saying do not wear masks. Masks helped to keep down SARS in China in 2002. But masks alone do not seem to keep people from getting infected. Just look at the grass of Ohio for the past couple of days. That's because not everybody's wearing a mask, Greg. And that's because it might be inside of buildings, but what the governor is saying is that people are having these events like funerals, weddings, things like this, these social gatherings, and they're not wearing a mask, and they're all bunched in like sardines, and they're transmitting the COVID-19 virus. That's what the facts are right now. So, you know, it is what it is. Philip writes, Trumpism. Listen, let me be clear. Everybody knows I love and respect Drop. I love Drop. I love his cause. I don't agree with him like most of the time, but I have no problem with a Trumpster. I got no problem with somebody that says they voted for Donald Trump. My problem is when they stop making sense and they stop looking at things logically. That's where we fall out. Brian Wright's problem isn't empathy, it's apathy and ignorance. It's those that don't care or don't care to know. I'm with you 100%. Good morning to you, B. Tracy writes, it's a conspiracy theory mentality. It is. That's why there's people out there that will believe until the day that they die that Donald Trump won the election and that it was stolen from him by the liberal media. That somehow the liberal media and the blacks and the gays and the Jews and the progressives, we all conspired along with these Republican election officials. In many states, Republicans are in control of the elections. We all conspired together because we don't like the way Donald Trump talks, because he's unorthodox. There's nothing we can say. They're incorrigible. I won't even attempt to do it. I won't waste my time. There's nothing we can say, friendly, that'll ever change their minds. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hold on, let me, I want you to hear this. You got to hear this for yourself. This is crazy because I can tell you, but unless you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, it ain't. North Dakota hits highest COVID-19 mortality rate in the world. That's North Dakota. In South Dakota, that's where the nurse is from that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. But again, North Dakota, you got North Dakota, South Dakota. North Dakota has the highest COVID-19 mortality rate in the world. And this is the United States. I thought we were so technologically savvy. We got the best medical care and this and that. All that might be true, but the people themselves are the problem. The people are the problem. I'll say it again. I'll whisper it because it might be easier for people to take that way. Good morning. What's up, Sean? Good morning to you, brother. What's up, Sarah? He writes Grand Risings, Nathan, and my Chopper family. Tammy writes, truly are the last days. People don't believe. You're right. We are living in the last days. We are living in the last days of common sense, for sure. I don't know if it's the last biblical days, but as I've been saying for years, these are the last days of common sense. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Maxine writes, sometimes we have to do the opposite, the righteous truth. Sarah writes, I saw that article. I want to know who those experts are. You talking about the experts related with Joe Biden and his economic team? Yeah, so we got multiple things going on. I'll get to that in a second. But this is crazy. I want to play this for you. This is a nurse, South Dakota nurse. Check this out.
The hospital is being overrun with COVID patients. They come in. They're horribly ill. They're gasping for breath, and yet they don't believe they have COVID.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to watch is that people are still looking for something else, and they want a magic answer, and they don't want to believe that COVID is real. And the reason I tweeted what I did is it wasn't one particular patient. It's just a culmination of so many people. And their last dying words are, this can't be happening. It's not real. And when they should be spending time FaceTiming their families, they're filled with anger and hatred. And it just made me really sad the other night. And I just can't believe that those are going to be their last thoughts and words.
Anger and hatred towards you?
I think it's just a belief that it's not real, and nursing happens to be on the receiving end of that. And that's okay. We can take that. That's what you're there for. It's just in the bigger picture when you try to reason with people of, can I call your family, your kids, your wife, your friend, your brother? And they say no, because I'm going to be fine. And you're watching their oxygen levels, maxed out on what we call vapotherm at 100%, and their oxygen level might be 75. That's not really that compatible with life. And we know where that's going to head. And it just makes you sad and mad and frustrated. And then you know that you're just going to come back and do it all over again. And that's kind of where that stemmed from.
How could it not make your own head explode? They're gasping for breath. Their oxygen levels are dropping. What do they think is wrong with them?
I think people look for anything. People want it to be influenza. They want it to be pneumonia. They want it to be, we've even had people say, well, I think maybe it might be lung cancer. Something so far-fetched. And the reality is, since day one, when COVID started in this area in March, you've kind of been able to say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. Like, I hate to tell you that you have COVID, but that's what you have. Even after positive results come back, some people just don't believe it. Now, that's not everybody. We have a lot of patients who are very, very grateful for their care and very thankful for what you do. But unfortunately, that's not what I'm remembering right now. And as my nursing career, that's not what I want to be remembering for. I want to remember the saves and the happy situations. And what I was remembering chilling on the couch the other night with my dog was not that.
Of course not. Of course not.
So that's a little bit. Just so you know, I'm not telling you no lies. That's from CNN. And that white female nurse is from South Dakota. She went on Twitter and started tweeting some of the things that she was seeing, just the unbelievability of it. Like, your last dying breath, you criticizing her and the doctors. Then why'd you go to the doctor? Why are you there? Like, what's the point of going to the medical professionals if when they tell you with their professional medical wisdom and insight and scientific knowledge what's going on with you, you're going to say, oh, it's got to be lung cancer. I'd rather it be lung cancer. What? The days and times we live in, folks. These people are incorrigible. Like I said, these Trumpsters, I'm not sure these are Trumpsters or not, but there's a certain segment of the population that has a trust of the government and everything related with anything that they disagree with. Like if it doesn't hit them right, initially, it'll never hit them right. It'll never hit them right. If it's not something where they can say like, well, yeah, I can see that, then they'll never believe it. They will absolutely never believe it. It is what it is. We are where we are. Good morning to you, family. 513-873-7134. So multiple things going on. So the Brent Spence Bridge, we now know is going to be closed probably up until about December 23rd. Do what you got to do. Looks like Jeff Pastor is moving toward being suspended from city council. There's a pathway that the attorney general in Ohio has, and he's already begun that process. Nor, of course, the mayor of Cincinnati was in the media saying, hey, I'm going to reach out to the attorney general and try to get this done because he doesn't want to have to deal with scandal at City Hall. Okay, I get it. He wants to be able to tell people I did something about it. If you're a pastor supporter, not a Trump supporter, but if you're a pastor supporter, how's that hit with you? How do you feel about it? Yesterday, we played an audio clip from a member of city council named Betsy Sunderman, who says that she's going to present some ideas to the other members of city council so that if you are accused of a crime around corruption, they can get you off city council, which I don't know. I mean, part of me, I understand it. The other part is like, wait a minute, these are just accusations. And if we've already got a maneuver from the state side to suspend someone, then why do we need more? I think she was grandstanding. I think Betsy Sunderman was grandstanding because has she come up with any real policy ideas? I don't know. I haven't really paid too much attention to everything coming from her audience. Just a few things have hit me and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. But that's where we are. Politics as usual, family. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Let me jump right back into it. Tanya writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. It's a cold one today. Ooh-wee. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful, though. I love it. Sarah writes, Nathan, don't you think they are well aware of that trying to close the wealth gap would increase economic growth? Well, if you're already wealthy, then you ain't really concerned about increasing economic growth or closing a racial wealth gap. You know, like Robert Johnson, a.k.a. Bob Johnson, the founder of BET. He's running around here doing, interviews with on cable, talking about talking about how Trump was good for black people. Well, but he's worth nearly $1 billion or $500 million or something like that. So his reality is super removed from my reality or maybe your reality. What's important to him ain't necessarily important to you and me. He's probably laying on the beach right somewhere right now. Everybody else is out here working. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different reality. So do I think that people know that? Yeah, I think people know that. But are they invested in it? Maxine writes, how can you lift things economically when there is a demonic economic jealousy in the world? The righteous truth. A demonic economic jealousy in the world. Iris writes, good morning, great people. Anthony writes, morning, Choppers. So why haven't they suspended or removed householder at the State House? It'll be the elephant in the room. Racism / white supremacy. Ben Thomas writes, where's Black Russia? Black Russia has been conspicuously absent. His absence has been very conspicuous ever since this Jeff Pastor thing's hit. I noticed it too, Ben, because we know that Black Russia helped to elect Jeff Pastor. How do I know? Well, when the city council members are elected, they do this big old swearing in ceremony. At least they did it down, I don't know, that Music Hall? Somewhere downtown. It's at a building. I think it is Music Hall that they did it at. Or some building that's like right there next to the park over there downtown. And I was there. And I saw Jeff Pastor get up. Back then he was Jewish. The Jewish Jeff Pastor got up and he spoke about all his supporters. and he called out Black Rusher's name and signaled him out in front of everybody in that moment and said, thank you, bruh, for helping me get elected. So yes, I know for a fact that Black Rusher was very, very instrumental in helping Jeff Pastor get elected. And I got to make this point because, you know, what would have happened if Michelle Dillingham would have won? Now, if you remember, there was a runoff election. That's how close it was. They had to recount the votes. Michelle Dillingham is a white female Democrat. How would things have been different if she was on city council as opposed to Jeff Pastor? Now, what's funny is there was a lot of people running around talking about her former issues with drug addiction that she's been very upfront about, as if she would be a bad example. Where don't people at now? You have mofos run around talking about how she was doing this and doing that, and we can't trust somebody that had a drug addiction. And meanwhile, Jeff Pastor is about to get suspended for public corruption charges. So I'll say it again, folks, you can't always judge a book by its cover. Personally, I don't have a problem with somebody that had a former addiction. You clean now, you had an addiction. There's a lot of people out there with addictions that never rise to the level that the public really knows about it. And there's a lot of people that have addictions on all kinds of different levels, right? They have a serious impact in their lives. They're never upfront about it. I'm just saying. I tweeted that question like, I wonder how things would be different. A member of the media retweeted it and said, FC Cincinnati in Newport. Telling you, just one vote can make a difference when it comes to city council. Just one vote. Just one vote can make a difference when it comes to city council. Just one. Just one. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Yeah, I was doing great too until that last little diatribe you just had.
Oh, really?
About Michelle Dillingham. Yeah, I'm disgusted.
Good.
Matter of fact, I'm effing disgusted.
Good.
First of all, how dare you tell all these black people on this radio show, you know, to even try to use such supposition that we have a young black Republican who's about, you know, the things he's about, and it asks, well, how would it have been different if this old white crack hole got on council?
You mean the black Republican that's about to be suspended for public corruption charges? You mean that one?
Yeah, just like the black lady who was 6 months before him. The one you was down at the ceremony supporting.
Yeah, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, and you know what? I would vote for Pastor again.
Would you?
He's just a little bit of an asshole. That's all.
Just a little bit. That's
all. You know, taking, you know, he's allegedly taking bribes. You know, apparently, like the cop said, the FBI guy said, there's a sense of entitlement down there. So that means probably 7 out of 9 are doing it. 6 out of 9. You know what I mean?
That's a stretch.
There's quite a few of them doing it.
That's a stretch.
Okay, it's a stretch, but it's also a stretch for you to think, for you to compare him to her.
No, it's not.
I'll tell you how would things been different if she wasn't engaged in heavy drug use? How many black men wouldn't have went to jail? How many black men wouldn't have gotten killed?
That's a stretch.
How many black men have died? How many black men have died because of the drugs that she was taking? How dare you compare
that illogical.
Trashy heifer, that trashy woman, to a young black male like that? Shame on you. I'm disgusted. I don't feel like listening right now. I'll tune back in 5 minutes.
Please do. Or don't. I don't give a damn if you discussed it or not. Good. I'm glad you got triggered. I'll say it again. I asked this question. There was people like Fame running around here criticizing Michelle Dillingham, talking about we can't trust her judgment because she dealt with drug addiction in the past. And you know me, I'm that dude to bring it up and say, how would things have been different if she won and not Jeff Pastor? I'm just saying. You're running around here talking about what she did in the past. She beat it. There's people out there that got all kinds of problems. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? And some of them same people that was questioning her judgment over an addiction that she beat. Where you at? Where you at now? So don't run from the conversation, Mr. Disgusted. Deal with it. Deal with it. Seriously. I mean, I'll venture to say that the city would have been better off. That's what I would have said. I'll stand by that. I think the city would have been better off if Michelle Dillingham had won and not Jeff Pastor. Anybody agree with that? Cool. You disagree with it? Let me throw the number up for you so I can give you a pathway for your frustrations. You know what I'm saying? I love to hear about it. There it is, 513-873-7134. How can you look at this situation and conclude anything other than that? Don't judge a book by its cover. I'll say it again. I mean, people have problems. Drug addiction runs rampant. I feel the same way about drug addiction as I do. Somebody that's coming out of prison. You paid your debts to society. It's over. I'm not going to keep throwing it in your face and bringing it up. And I'm not going to do all that. You paid your debt to society. It is what it is. Until you do something that's along the same lines, at least in my heart and in my mind, it's over. I feel the same way. Let's go back to the phones. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, this Keisha.
Hey, Keisha, you sound really super, super low. I can barely make it out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can't hear you, Keisha. Are we on speaker?
No.
We're not on speaker. Let me see what I can do on my end to kind of bump you up a little bit. Hey, Keisha, go ahead.
Yeah, how you going to be mad at somebody addiction from 20-something years ago? People change. That's crazy.
It is
That's all I
crazy.
got to say. Can you hear me now?
Nah, I can't hear you, Keisha. I can't. I'll tell you what, call me back. Yeah, so if you didn't hear it, Keisha said, how you going to be mad at somebody because they had an addiction 20 years ago? That's the point I'm trying to make. I ain't worried about no addiction you had 20 years ago that you upfront about, that you beat, that you talking about public. I ain't worried about that. Just like I ain't worried about somebody that had a drug conviction 20 years ago. I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried. Oh, you did some time? Okay. How you feel about it? Oh, you paid your debt to society? You realized you was wrong? That's good enough for me. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I believe in when people say rehabilitation, I believe in it. I take people for their word until something else crazy happens. When that happens, then we'll start talking about it. Until that, no. I ain't going to keep bringing it up and throwing it in your face and it's always before you. I mean, let people live. Let people live. Hey, what's up, Derek? He's on YouTube. He writes top of the morning. Good morning to you, Derek. Good morning to you. He said he's effing scussed. Good. I'm glad you scussed it. Great. Mission accomplished. Gold star for Nathan. Remember the movie Boomerang? Gold star for Marcus. I was in the movie theater like, damn, I want a gold star too. If y'all can follow me here. You got to get that cultural IQ up. You know what I'm saying? Get it up. Get it up. Lori writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Lori. Looking fantastic over there. I see you. Samantha writes, good morning, all. Sarah writes, I agree with economic justice being the primary issue. That needs to be addressed. Right. Start right there. I mean, they can do multiple things at the same time. But if you're asking me, start with the money. Start with the bag. Move that bag closer to our communities. And then people, we know what to do with it. Black folks ain't never been shy or without knowledge about how to spend their money. We build Black Wall Streets all over the country. And then white resentment and white fragility burned it all down one by one. In some cases, 2 by 2, right? The history books in the public high school should talk more about that. You produce a better brand and a more well-rounded, caliber of student, but they don't want to do that. Brent writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Yo Underwood writes, good morning, everyone. What's up, yo? What up? What up? Greg writes, I think if the court challenges fail, Ivanka and Jared will convince Trump to vacate the White House. But yeah, Nate, that'd be funny to see Secret Service haul Trump out of there in cuffs. Oh, my God. I'm praying for it. I'll be honest with you. I would love to see that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would love to see that happen. I want Trump to start something. I want him to start something. I want him to, come January, 20th, 21st, say, I'm not leaving. Oh, my God. Ooh, we're going to have some fun now. I love to see all of that. Now, I don't think it's going to really happen. I think Trump's got more sense than that, quite honestly. He's not going to give us that kind of show. Unfortunately, I don't really see it. It's unfortunate, but I would be here for that. They can drag his ass straight the hell up out of there. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Meek is on YouTube, writes, the last day of a world power. The last day of a world, you talking about the United States is a world power? I don't see that. I think that we have taken a couple steps back to China, if not more than that, over the last 4 years. This whole isolationism in the age that we live in, I don't think it was smart. I think that once that Joe Biden gets in, the media will start talking more about that. China, and again, I'm not telling you I'm a world expert, but China has made tremendous insights into the continent of Africa, tremendous investments. When it comes to being a world power in terms of interacting with the continent of Africa, China, I think, has supplanted the United States. I'm just telling you. I think that, while Trump's running around here talking about America first, he has done us a disservice on the world stage. I think all this stuff will come out. I don't need to get into it now. It'll all come out. Brandon writes, hey, black folks. Hey, good morning to you, Brandon. Fast Pitch writes, Trump will be herpathetic, always popping up somewhere. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Check out the Valet Service podcast today at 7 p.m., hosted by Fast Pitch. He will be. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. No Empathy writes, are you talking about the Great Society? No, not necessarily. I wasn't, no. Not in particular. Nate, you are killing me with the Footloose references. Yeah, man. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. Anybody who's seen that musical is a classic, I think, from the 80s. So it might date some of you folks. Go check it out for yourself. If you like musicals, you gotta start right there. And that was the whole synopsis. White dude played by Kevin Bacon, the ageless wonder. And he comes from New York. I think he got in some trouble, and his mom and dad, somehow he ends up in Kansas, somewhere, some rural state. And he goes to a town, meets a girl. It's always a damn girl. Meets a girl he's smitten with. But in that town, they can't dance. But he's going to dance no matter what. It's his right to dance, right? So he introduces rock and roll or something like that to the town. Everybody's dancing around and all this kind of stuff. Cam writes, call Harry Potter, right? Yeah. You get COVID, you don't believe it's really COVID, call Voldemort. Or I'm trying to tap into what I can remember from Harry Potter. I didn't read any of the books. I just saw a little bit of the last movie. I cheated. The last movie was the dopest movie when all the action was happening. I ain't watch all the other movies. It was too damn boring. I'm not watching that crap. Fast Pitch. She writes, calling on the angels of Appalachia to intercede. You're all for that one. But it's hilarious as hell. That is hilarious. Calling the angels of Appalachia. The angels of Appalachia. You are coming. You are coming. I can feel you. I can feel you. The angels of Appalachia. The backwater bubbas. Bring your picker trucks. We need you. I'm having too much fun, man. Alicia writes, are you going to do the interview with the Black Prepper? You know what? I actually am. I do have a contact with it. I was just thinking about the other day because I want to line up more interviews here in the show. It can't just be me. I want to break up the monotony. And not just that, I want to bring in people to have a different perspective onto the show. So look for that very, very quick, very, very soon, Alicia. As soon as I can hook that up, like if I can hook that up this week, because I'm already prepared. I've already got questions written. As soon as I can hook up that interview, then you'll hear it, Alicia. Absolutely. I think that's something we should be talking about right here, right now, because we're living in the last days, my friends. Also, the title of my forthcoming book, look for it very, very soon. We are living in the last days. No doubt about it. Curtis writes, most white men act like Trump when they don't get their way. Janice writes, good morning, all. We'll leave it right there. Brent writes, they tried affluenza and succeeded for a little bit for the guy down here in Texas. Now both him and his mama are in jail. Yeah, he was drunk, ran over a couple people, killed some people, and then claimed, or his defense was that his mother and father spoiled him. So he didn't know what was right and wrong and didn't know what his boundaries was. And then him and his mother took off and went down to, I don't know where they went, south of the border, and then they got caught or something like that, I remember. Crazy. Alicia writes, the Dakotas and Montana also have the lowest number of black residents in the country. No black people, no common sense, no masks, which means more COVID. She is hilarious. Go ahead and rack her, everybody. We'll rack her. That is hilarious. Saran writes, good morning, y'all. Hey, good to see you. She's on Facebook. Good to see you. Everybody looking so dynamic. I love these. I love that I can see your actual, your avatar. You know what I'm saying? Your profile pic. Everybody looking great on their profile pics. Well, we excellent. We looking good in the last days. Shoot, we going to the heavenly ever after looking good. Sharp. We looking sharp. You know what I'm saying? Walking through the pearly gates. Cleopatra that writes, this is not the last days. It is in terms of the last days of common sense. But I don't know if it's the last biblical days. I don't have enough information. Danita writes, everyone blessings for a terrific Tuesday. Same to you, Danita. Good morning. Let me see. Brandon writes, something is up with Sunderman. She trying for something. Yeah, she want to be reelected. Well, not even reelected. She wants to be elected a year from now. So she's going the whole law and order, route. And I'm the Republican voice of common sense amidst all the Democrat majority on city council route. She's going that route. I stand with the police route, as if the rest of the members of city council don't stand for the police. They all do. Every last one of them. They all pro-police. They all stand with the police. They better. It just makes sense. Why would you be anti-police and you're running for city council? But that's going to be her lane that she's crafting for herself. She ain't coming up with policy that really matters to working class Cincinnatians. She ain't worried about policy specific to 40% of the population here, 40+% of the population in Cincinnati. She wants to go the law and order route. We support the police. Like, come on, how trite is that? We get it. Terry writes, investigate the entire political process and throw in the Justice Department too. They're not going to do that, Terry. They're not. You talking about the Biden-Harris? They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. I mean, they might do it in the sense of investigating what Trump and his Justice Department did and didn't do. They might go after, William Barr. They might do that. But in terms of investigating and retooling the entire process, I think you're only going to get like minor reforms there. I'm just being honest with you. Again, Biden he ain't Bernie Sanders. He ain't no super progressive. He's never been that. And so I'm not going to look for him to do anything other than what he's already done. Now, I do look for some specific equity policy intangibles for us because we got you there, Mr. Biden and Mrs. Harris, but we'll see. Letty writes, good morning, Nathan Ivey and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Janice writes, one thing Trump has shown us is how easily a certain number of people can be easily indoctrinated using words. I can't say she's wrong about that. I think there's truth in that. I think there's truth in what she's saying. Yeah. But you know what? I think these people already wanted to be indoctrinated. That's what I think. Cleopatra writes, rise and shine. Nathan Ivey and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Terry writes, probably Memorial Hall next to Music Hall. I think you might be right about that. Yeah. I don't think I said Music Hall. It might have been. It's either one of Music Hall or Memorial Hall. Let me see. Donnie B's in the house. She's cracking up. Danita writes, when did Nathan Ivey become a shady assassin? Yesterday, it was Earl. By the way, I can't wait to tell someone that they got Earled instead of knocked the F out. And today is Jeff Pastor was Jewish at the time. Oh, shady. No, speaking facts, he was Jewish at the time. It seems like shade because it's just so crazy. But at the time, Jeff Pastor was running around talking about how he was Jewish. Those are facts. Earl Price, when he called in, I'm just being honest with you, Danita. For me, I wish I was a fly on the wall. Or I wish I could be a fly on the wall when Charmaine McGuffey takes over as the Hamilton County Sheriff, and she has that first staff meeting, and Earl Price is sitting there. It's gonna be hella tension. It's gonna be. I just want to sit there and just read it, eat my popcorn, just read the facial expressions. And tell me tell me you don't want to be a fly on the wall. I mean, here's a man who was out here bad mouthing Charmaine McGuffey, talking about how she slipped his guard and hit him in the mouth 20 years ago. Out here doing campaign ads, negative campaign ads against Charmaine McGuffey, hoping that Bruce Hoffbauer is going to win. I asked the man in the interview, like, well, what if Bruce loses and Charmaine wins? He's like, well, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Well, that bridge is coming. That bridge is coming. That would be, man, I hope they have a press conference. I hope we can see that. I hope it's on City Cable. I'll run it live. Because that's going to be hilarious. What politics? You got to choose the right. You got to choose the right team. It is what it is. That's going to be hilarious. David writes, polyamorous is the real duffel bag guy. Polyamorous? You talking about Jeff? Maybe the real duffel bag guy. Keisha writes, that was 23 years ago. Folks changed. Talking about Michelle Dillingham. I mean, listen, I ain't even thought nothing about it. You know, when she came on this show, she talked about it. I asked her about it. I mean, you have to ask. You know, we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to know who you are and how, and your answers matter. I asked her. She talked about her drug addiction and what she dealt with. Quite honestly, I mean, the fact that people are dealing with opioid addiction, it might even give her insight that other members of city council don't have in dealing with that. Like, if you've ever dealt with an addiction on any level, then you've got a certain insight that other folks who never dealt with an addiction have. Now, you might look at it as good or bad or whatever. But again, I mean, I look at addiction recovery in the same, if not the same file, it's in the same tree, just a different leaf, different branch of someone who had any kind of issue in their past. You said you worked past it? I'll take you for your word. I ain't gonna keep throwing it up in your face, throw it up in your face. Well, you did this, or you went to prison, and you was addicted to opioids. You said you clean, you clean. You said you understand the ways that brought you to prison. I take you for your word. Until you prove me otherwise, then we got a problem. But until then, I look at it as a clean slate like anybody else. That's just me. Now, everybody don't feel that way. Some people are gonna keep bringing it up and hold it over your head, and it's a problem. I'm not gonna do all of that. I'm not doing all that. I'll say it again. How things might have been different. I can only wonder and speculate if Michelle Dillingham had won as opposed to Jeff Pastor. Honestly, I don't know that Michelle Dillingham like that. This is just on the outside looking in. I don't think she would have got caught up with that scandal like Jeff did. I don't believe that. I don't think she would have succumbed to those kind of things. That's just me. Now you ask me, well, Nate, how do you say that? It's just my feelings. I don't have no evidence. This is how I feel about it. Simple as that. Brandon writes, wow, old crack hoe. Yeah, he's so disrespectful. You talking about Fame? So disrespectful. But we know he has a problem with women. We know that. You know, he'll work it out. David writes, look who's talking. Uh-oh. Brandon writes, his argument is invalid. I tried to tell the brother, he didn't want to listen. Brent writes, how dare you? I am disgusted. I am appalled. Right. Elizabeth writes, so emotional. Yeah. Emotions run high. It is. We all family, though. Tracy writes, he said he calling back in 5 minutes. No, he won't be calling back in 5 minutes because I don't want to double dip unless it's something, you got some kind of breaking news or something like that. He said he's going to listen back in 5 minutes. He can't even listen right now. That's what he said. David writes, Morris Albert strikes again. # feelings. Who is Morris Albert? Terry writes, so many professional people are on all kinds of prescription drugs. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Man, there's people popping pills right now. I ain't hating on you. There's people popping pills right now just to get through the day. I ain't hating on you, though. Do you. Whatever you got to do. Brandon writes, I'm with you on that one, Nate. Terry writes, flustered. Woody writes, he's on YouTube. Happy risings, brother Nathan and the chopper. Stay safe. Trying to be safe. Trying to be safe. Trying to do business. Trying to raise a family. Trying to be a husband. You know, trying to push this platform as much as I can in these COVID-19 days and times. You know what I'm saying? You know, there have been times where I'm forced to go out and I got to do what I got to do to move the movement forward. But other than that, I'm trying to get through virtual like everybody else. I'm doing as much virtually as I possibly can. Brandon writes, gold star for Nathan. You saw that, huh? Gold star for Marcus from the movie Boomerang. Man, I remember I went to go see with my partner, right? I'm sitting there like, I want a gold star too. Who didn't want a gold star from the actress that plays Sunshine? Remember that? Hey, Renee. Hey, I sent you a message on Facebook. Please check your message if you haven't already seen it, Renee. Good morning to you. You see, the Pentagon ain't playing with him. You talking about Trump? We'll see. Andrea writes, love that movie. Brandon writes, I see Nate on this comedy this morning. Yes, I am. Alicia writes, Footloose is like Fresh Prince with a white cast. Is it? Let me think about that. Footloose is like Fresh Prince with a white cast. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me think about that one more. Saran writes, why blame a woman? Janine writes, love Footloose. Alicia writes, Nathan, don't mock Paula like that. Really? Oh, man. Saran writes, I'm wrong. I'm wrong? Did y'all see this woman? The angels from Africa. Did you see Kev on stage? He did like a little video about it. It was hilarious. He had like a white towel over him and he was playing the angels from Africa. He's like, you better call the Anaheim Angels, the Angels in the outfield or somebody like that. We ain't coming, Paula. I hear the winds of victory. I hear the winds of victory. Yabba yabba do, labba labba sue, and all these speaking in tongues. I mean, come on now. I don't believe it. Nat writes, Paula White is a con and a carnival barker. A carnival barker? A carnival barker? That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Daryl writes, it's our job to push the Biden administration. Oh, absolutely it is. It absolutely is. Saran writes, Nate, when I saw Paula White, I was like, she fake. But I thought Paula White, again, I told the story, what was it, yesterday? Or maybe it was Friday, about, when I knew that some of these religious folks are fake. Not everybody that is in front of it. Not all the pastors and preachers are fake. Not all of them. Some of them are true people of God, and they try to do their best. And I give them props. But some of them are fake, faker than a $3 bill. Some of them are just running businesses. Like, there's a really popular black pastor out there that does a lot of so-called civil rights work in the community and stuff like that. A lot of people think very highly of him. And I don't have necessarily negative thoughts about the brother. Sorry, I got a message. I don't have necessarily negative thoughts about the brother and his wife. His wife disrespected me, by the way. And, but, there's some of these pastors and preachers that look at their church as it's a business. It's a business first before it's a house of God. And I would be very, 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 very suspicious and very cautious about supporting those individuals. I've told the story. I ain't got to keep telling the story over there. I've told the story. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I start talking about pimps and predatory preachers, and then you pop up like, what's T.I.'s latest? He got a new track out right now. It's called Hit Dogs Holla. So when I start talking about things and then people start popping up like, Arr! It's like, I didn't even know who you were. I didn't say your name. That means that the target got hit. That's what it means. So no, there's some men and women out there that's leading churches that's 100% about God. Now, of course, they got business and the whole administration of a church and everything, but I don't want to say that. I strongly believe that there are people out there that are 100% doing God's work. However, you got a lot of them too that's out there just trying to make money off the flock. And I ain't with it. I'm not with it. I ain't going to your church. I'm not going to act like I'm with it. And that's just what it is. TNT writes, good morning. Hey, listen, speaking of which, I got to make a move. I got to make a quick break, family. We'll be right back. All right. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. Of course, brought to you by the good folks at CDM. Their message is real simple. Amplify Black voices. If that's something you feel like you can get down with, then keep rocking with us. Also, go to our CDM Syndicate media page and check us out on Facebook and check out the podcast. Also, when we come back, I'll talk about podcasts that are going to be going live today and throughout the rest of the week. All right? Don't go anywhere. Please like and share this show, this live stream, and I'll be right back.
You can't kill my confidence. I think I'm the man.
Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Knowing your breasts can save your life. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. Brought to you by Susan G. Komen and the Ad Council.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney for my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third. This can really be the start of something. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now, let's get back to the flow.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivey with you. It's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. A lot going on. Want to remind you, coming up today at 1 p.m., Midday Juice with Ask Ashley. Don't miss out on the Juice with Ask Ashley coming up today. Also at 7 p.m. today, Valet Service Podcast with Fast Pitch. She'll park you right where you need to be mentally. Check it out today, this evening at 7 p.m. Good morning, everybody. And again, I'll say it out there. If you are a winner, so we have 5 winners. I reached out via text, but only got a response from a couple folks. I want to make sure I hit everybody. Hope you're listening. We gave away 5 of these Black Voices Matter sweatshirts, and they are on the way. They'll be here by the last week. They told me December 3rd at the latest, hopefully before that. And as soon as they get here, I'll make sure that I hand deliver them to you. All right. I want to shake your hand, say what's up. Thank you personally for checking out the show. We're going to do more of it as Black Friday approaches. That's the Friday after Thanksgiving. What are your Thanksgiving Day plans? Are you going to be traveling? Oh boy, travel. Really? COVID-19? I'll tell you, man, this COVID-19, man, my son, my family is very, very used to traveling to Cleveland. My wife's family she was born in Cleveland. All of her family is in Cleveland. So she travels there a few times a year. Of course, My son and daughter typically go, and they've not been able to do that now since last year. We had to shut it down last year when we saw things were kind of moving in a certain way. And these things can be very, very hard on family. And it's tough decisions you got to make out there. Good morning to you. I know it's tough, but this is where we are, family. This is where we are. Good morning to you. Again, 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts. There was some information. There was some information that was put out over the last 24 hours. Hold on one second. There we go. Over the last 24 hours. Well, really, this came out on November the 15th. That's when this article was dated. And it was talking about the Biden transition team. And apparently, it looks like they might be moving in the right direction. I wonder if you agree with this. So what's being written about the Biden transition team is that they are bringing diversity to the Biden-Harris administration. And not just in terms of gender diversity, but also diversity in experience. So they have been seeking out and tapping and promoting, people who have experience dealing with the racial wealth gap in America. Now, I put that out there because that's what we should be watching. We should be watching, and we should be waiting to see what Biden and Harris are going to be all about. Biden is not a progressive, nor is Kamala Harris, even though some have suggested that she is. And I'm not sure if that's something you care about or not. But if you're a black voter, if you're someone who voted for them, then you want to get a return, right? You want to get a return. You want to get a return on your investment. You want to see that your vote matters. And it was not just about not voting in Trump, but it was also about, voting in an administration that's going to do something for you. I'm also reading that Simone Sanders is in the running to be Biden's White House press secretary. That would make sense. Because she was out there out front with Biden from day one. Simone Sanders is a sister that was on, I don't know, was she on CNN? Was she on CNN? I think she was. That's a sister, attractive sister. She got a very, very short hair. It's like short like mine. And she was out there with the Biden administration from not day one, but shortly after he kicked off the campaign. And you'd have to say that she was instrumental in being a part of it. She was the deputy campaign manager in charge of communications and a longtime Biden aide. And looks like she's got the inside track. So we could have a black female be the White House press secretary. And not just a black female, but on the surface, a black female that knows what time it is. That'll be interesting. What? That'll be interesting. I'm down with that. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Also, Andrew T. Hatcher, a former journalist and California state official, and among the founders of the 100 Black Men of America, is in the running as well. So we'll see what happens. I think that'll be dope. I could see Simone Sanders doing that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Be better than what we had. What's her name? Kelly McEnany or something like that? Kelly McEnany? Lion ass heifer? Something like that. AKA lion ass heifer. That's all she does. She picking up where what was the name? Sanders picked up. Well, was it Sanders? What was the female with the dark hair? I've forgotten her name so quickly. I'm so glad to see she left. All these press secretaries just lie for Trump. Since his first one, remember the white male? Talking about he had more people at the inauguration than anybody else, huh? What? They put the pictures side by side. Yeah, but those pictures have been doctored. Yeah, sure they have. So props to Simone Sanders. I hope she gets it. That'll be dope. That'll be dope for her. Change up. Change up. Sharp writes, a lot of people saying happy birthday to Irish rolling inside the chop shop. Ashley as well. Clue writes, you can't blame white racist actions on Obama. He didn't fuel nor fan anything racist. Trump woke up the long restrained racists in the whites. Yeah, he definitely helped to legitimize their feelings by not coming out and condemning them and being so soft on it. You're right about that. Black Covedale is in a bunker. Black Covedale is in a bunker with Donald Trump. So not Black Russia, but Black Covedale. That's hilarious. Mike writes, we need the same energy toward Tamaya aimed at Pastor, memes and all. Yeah, I saw Tamaya 6'9" memes out there. Where you at, Cam? Where you at, Cam? I'm talking about Camp Israel. I think he made that. He said he was proud of it. He didn't mind. Where y'all at? We saw Black Russia and other folks that kept showing it on social media. They took a photograph of Tekashi 6ix9ine and then superimposed Tamaya Denard's face on it, right? And that was circulating on some of these groups. But they ain't doing that with Jeff Pastor, are they? Because it's not as funny. It was partisan. Drop writes, how do I adjust my W-4 without withholding? Question mark. You have new separate non-wage income and you want your withholding increase to account for it. Okay. Thank you for that. There's Graxton. He writes, good morning. We still here, Warren County, Ohio. # Altman. Okay, there go Black Russia. AKA T. Lawrence Graxton, JD. Clue Magic writes, now come on, Mike Jones. Black Russia ain't going to do his boy like he did to Maya. We know that. Young Black Republican who got caught in a bribery scandal. Drop writes, my feeling on the issue is this. Why give an interest-free loan to the government every year when you could be keeping that money for yourself and even earning some interest on it? See, Drop has already made the pivot that you're going to see all the Republicans do. All the Trump supporters, they're going to start talking about the deficit. You wait for it. All of a sudden, we can't spend no money because of the deficit. Mitch McConnell, the Republicans, all of them are going to try to do their best to grind the U.S. economy to a halt. They want you to suffer. They want you to suffer because when you suffer, it sets the table for 4 years from now for a Republican, whether it be Donald Trump or Sarah Palin, whoever, that's a name right there, to come in and say, hey, we're going to clean up the mess that Joe Biden created. Watch. Wait for it. You ain't heard nobody on Fox News talking about the deficit. You ain't heard nobody talking about spending. Under Trump, the deficit has exploded. Explode and expand. Expanded. It has expanded under Trump. Nobody talks about it. As soon as a Democrat gets in office, oh, the deficit. Oh, we can't spend. What about our children? What about our children? Oh, the future, the future. Oh, what about the future? We see right through it, y'all. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Good morning to you. Y'all need to stop. Oh, the future. Oh, the future. We can't do it. We can't spend with. What about we're leveraging the lives of our grandchildren? Watch, and guess what? It's gonna work. It's gonna work like a charm. If you haven't already done so, I want to tell you that this morning show is running on YouTube as well. If you want to check it out, you can find me at Nathan Ivey on YouTube. Please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well. That way you'll get a notification whenever I go live with any videos. And I'm trying to get to, not my first goal, because I will get there with your help. But the first goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. Why? Well, because when you hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube allows you to monetize. If you don't know anything about YouTube, and I'm just learning this, I ain't saying I'm some kind of expert or anything, but what I've learned about YouTube is that they have different tools that are available to YouTube channels per the interactions that you have. So if you get a certain amount of watch time, it opens up certain tools. If you get a certain amount of subscribers, it opens up certain tools. And if you want to monetize, meaning that YouTube would actually put ads on your YouTube channel in your videos that you can monetize, you've got to hit 2 milestones. One is a certain watch time, which we smashed the watch time. We smashed that a long time ago. We way past that. But our next milestone is subscribers. I need to get to at least 1,000 subs. So if you're on YouTube, even some of the time, go ahead and take a second this morning or whenever you think about it, circle back around, go on YouTube and hit me with a subscription. I appreciate it in advance. Means everything. Means everything. Sarah Huckabee. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Sarah Huckabee. Right. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. That's why it threw me off. Yeah, that's because she's got one of those hyphenated names. Yeah. Crystal's in the house. She writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, Crystal. Looking good. Live say, Gary writes, 600,000 people died of cancer so far this year. Get over COVID and stop spreading the fear. I still don't understand. I understand what you're saying, Live say, Gary, but it's not a fear to tell people that COVID is real and that depending on different factors, pre-existing conditions, whatever, you might have a serious effect to a side effect to it. That's not a fear. That's not a fear. That's the facts. I think we should be giving people facts. I really do. I really do. Alicia writes, Thanksgiving, I'll be traveling from my bedroom to the kitchen, rattling some pots and pans, then traveling to the den to watch some football. Smart. Crystal writes, to live, say, Gary, is cancer contagious? Excellent question. Again, I don't get these COVID deniers, man. If you're just tuning in, let me give you the cover story conversation once again before we roll out of here. Again, we start at 7:30 and, 7:30 to 9:30, 10:30 on some days. I love what I do. I love being with you every single morning. We are living in the last days, my friends. People dying of COVID. Last words, this can't be happening. It's real. I played the audio for you of a nurse in South Dakota who was talking on CNN. And she caught the attention of CNN and other major news outlets because she tweeted her experiences. What were her experiences? Well, what she's talking about is that people are coming into her hospital in South Dakota on their deathbed and still refuse to believe that they have COVID-19 on their deathbed and still refuse to believe that COVID is real. With their dying words from her vantage point, again, I'm just telling you secondhand what she's reporting. That with their dying words, people are saying things like, this can't be happening. COVID isn't real. It must be lung cancer. There's an element, I'll say it again, of the population that is incorrigible. They believe what they want to believe. They believe in whatever conspiracy theories. That's why some of the people that are Trumpsters didn't really get too upset when Trump was being non-traditional. They didn't really believe it because they don't really believe in the government anyway. They're suspicious anyway. Like some of these folks believe in QAnon or they're QAnon sympathetic. So to believe that, you'd have to believe in a lot of stuff. Some of these people were birthers. They really believe that Barack Obama was not an American citizen, that there was some kind of conspiracy to elevate this non-white man to the U.S., to the White House, to the detriment of the righteous white man and woman. Like for you to believe in birtherism, you'd have to believe in a grand conspiracy that involves the courts, both state, federal. You'd have to believe that the electoral process is corrupt. You'd have to believe that the Democrat Party is completely corrupt and in on it and complicit. You'd have to believe that there's a real plot out there to elevate black people over white people. Maybe in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Someone suggested that blacks are better athletes. They may be. But for you to believe, again, stop for a second. For you to believe in birtherism, that Barack Obama was not from America, that he was born overseas from Kenya, and that he was brought here by the media elites, by political elites, to rule over the righteous man, right man and woman, you'd have to believe and have a distrust. So you have to have a basic distrust of government on levels that I really can't even really talk about. So why wouldn't you believe that Donald Trump won the election? Why wouldn't you believe, if you're a birther, if you've got this kind of mentality, like if you're either a hardcore birther or you're sympathetic to birtherism, why wouldn't you believe that COVID-19 is some man-made event and they're really trying to scare you to take away your rights and they're trying to precondition you to stay in the house? Because when they can do that, then that opens up door number B. And door number B is like martial law, and they want to close down your businesses and then elevate black people to, I don't know what the hell they think about black folks, but I mean, I think about it. Think about it logically. For you to believe birtherism, you've got to believe all these other things. You got to believe that Donald Trump really won the election, and then there's a grand conspiracy against him, and you got to believe that COVID-19 is just no really big deal. Like, man, it's like the common cold. Maybe it is, but I don't even want to catch a cold. Think about that, family. Again, we've got to come to grips that the way that we think, the way that you think, is not necessarily the way other people think. And that other people might think 180 degrees in terms of difference. And they feel it. They believe it. Just as much as you believe that COVID is real, there are people out there that believe that COVID is not real. I played the audio for you from a nurse who's dealing with it on the front lines. Here in the state of Ohio, we got people running around talking about their rights, going up to Columbus, going to the state capitol, doing public protest about how the businesses should remain open. Let people choose for themselves. Well, we can't trust humans. If we let humans choose for themselves, we all gonna be effed up, family. It is what it is. Do the right thing. Angela writes, I heard about that too, Nate. Them poor people. I feel for them not believing in COVID is real. Right. Angela writes, these conspiracy theories are crazy. Again, they may seem crazy to us. They may seem crazy to us. But, I mean, it's real out here. It's real out here. You know, I played the video for you over the weekend on Monday, yesterday's show, about the Proud Boys and the Backstreet Boys and Boys to Men, whoever the hell is out here in the streets, the Boogaloo Boys, going face to face, you know, getting into physical confrontations. There's a video circling right now of a member of the Proud Boy that punches a journalist straight in the face. They don't believe in journalism. They don't believe in journalism. They don't believe in the news media as long as it disagrees with them. If it aligns with what they agree with, well, then that's real news. If it challenges them, then that's fake news. That's where we are. I'm just saying, let's come to terms with it. Let's stop fighting against it. It is what it is. We are where we are. Good morning to you. Tracy writes, old crack hole, this MF. Right. See how we disrespect this woman? Fame called in, disrespected Michelle Dillingham. Why? She didn't get tagged by the FBI for public corruption. Jeff Pastor did. Again, if you just tune in, I got some information within the last 24 hours, and I was given a name. Got it right here in my notes. I was given a name of who witness number 2 is in the Jeff Pastor case. Now, we know who the first witness is Chinedum Ndukwe, former Cincinnati Bengal, who I don't know if he was wearing a wire or he was a part of the sting to get Jeff Pastor. It is what it is. But that second witness has yet to be put out there. And I need to confirm a few things before I put it out there. Perhaps on tomorrow's show, or maybe I'll do it between now and then on social media. I might put it out there. But I want to confirm a few things before I do that. Just because somebody gives you information don't mean you run with it. We's a little bit smarter than that over here. But I appreciate it. 100%. Let me see. CG cracking up. Bourgeois guy out the project writes, TFC, why I gotta be an MF? We can't trust crack users to make sound decisions. Well, it appears, and again, at this point, he is innocent until proven guilty, but it appears, per the allegations, that we can't trust non-crack users to make sound decisions as well. I'm just saying, facts is facts. This city, how would this city have been different? How would the last 3 years have been different if Michelle Dillingham was on council as opposed to Jeff Pastor? Would it have been better for the people or worse? I only asked because it was a runoff election. They had to actually recount all the votes. It was so close. What was it like? I mean, tell me, Black Russia, because I know you had the number. It was like 250 something votes. That was it. That was the difference between FC Cincinnati. That was the difference between a second corruption scandal on city council. 250 votes. Tracy writes, I just want to know what bearing Michelle has on your life that year after year you continue to bash her. Talk about disgusted. You got to be an MF because she's got to be a crack hole. That's why. Ooh. B writes, good morning, all. Hey, good to see you. Folks still rock with you and you went to prison. Knock it off, fam. Ooh. What she said. It's the points, though. It's the points for me. That's the point I made. Like I said, I mean, drug addiction, you went to prison. I mean, it's all in the same vein of making bad decisions. And I don't hold that against anybody. Not even for public office, per se. It depends. Like, I want to hear where your head is at. I want to hear what you have to say. What did you do? How do you feel about what you did? What's your reflection? And then that'll give me some sense as to whether I can trust you or not. But I'm not going to automatically invalidate you. Mason Muller writes, I detect no lies at Tracy. Tracy going for the jugular. Oh, man. Tracy writes, they said Trump is planning his inauguration ball. For what? Who's going to be there? I mean, it'll be him, Chrisette Michelle, and his family. That's about it. Yeah, I threw her in there. No, but you've asked people to trust you with their money bet after bet. Who should be scrutinized? Damn, Tracy going for the jugular. She putting them paws on you. Yeah, I said it. I'm petty like that. I believe in the reflection method. She putting them paws on you, Faye. I'm super petty like that when it comes to me. Let me see here. That's funny. Mason Muller writes, Mama Grizzly time. Y'all silly, man. Y'all silly. Stop it. Stop it. Why is dropping here talking about IRS withholdings? Man, we ain't paying no attention to that nonsense, man. Knock it off. Get with the program this morning. Y'all should be in here and see this. This man in here posting, he don't care what nobody says, talking about IRS tax withholding, estimators, get a new W-4 form. I'm starting to pick up on your style, though. So now that Trump's not in office, now you want to talk about everybody's money. Now it's all about the money. Now you want to talk about the deficit. I see you coming, Drop Squad 52. I see you. I see you, bro. I see you way before you get here, man. Oh, that's hilarious, man. This is too much fun. Tracy writes, keep my name off your podcast. I have no problem suing folks. Y'all funny, man. Y'all hilarious. We all family, man. Sometimes we're going to disagree. It is what it is. She writes, I'm sick of negative bullies. Okay, she's had it. He said, Mama Grizzly. Y'all need to stop, man. I'm having too much fun. I'm having way too much fun. Oh, my God. That is hilarious. Janice writes, it's luck of the draw. When people get into positions of power, some people change. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think that money and power just make you more of who you already are. I don't think it changes you. Now, I don't think that Jeff Pastor changed, if in fact this happened. It was already in you. It was already in you, and when you saw the opportunity, you took it. That's how I look at it. But I don't think that money or power makes you any different than what you already are. I just think it just magnifies who's inside of you. Sometimes the money and power can open the door and make people show parts of them that was already there that they didn't feel secure enough to show before, but now they got money and power, so it's kind of like, I'm going to do me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how, that goes for anybody. I don't believe that one bit. Oh, I'm a different person now. You're not a different person. You're the same person you always been. You just got money and power, so now you don't give a F. Let me jump around and see what's popping before we roll out of here. Do you want to see this tape? I don't know if I want to show you because I don't want to promote violence. I don't want to promote violence. Oh, man. This is hilarious. Hey, does anybody, let me give you a heads up. Anybody watching that Drink Champs? I didn't know this was going to be as entertaining as it turned out to be, but they had Young Berg on there, a.k.a. Hitmaker. It was quite interesting. Now, that I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite episodes, but it was worth your time, man. Hitmaker. I didn't know dude was prolific as he was. You know, he was on Love and Hip Hop or something like that. But I don't know if you like podcasts. You know, I support everybody, what everybody's doing. It's a lot of good work out there. I like Drink Champs. I love it. You know, I'm from hip hop culture. They talk about a lot. They talk to a lot of hip hop artists from my generation. I'm about all of that. And I got a chance to, and this is rare for me, but I watched the entire thing. And then went back and watched some of the beginning. It was so interesting. He told some great stories about Whitney and Ray J. Oh, you ain't know Whitney? You ain't know Ray J was smashing? You ain't know that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talked about Pop Smoke, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? That's a good episode right there. If you missed it, you might overlook it. You're like, who is this light-skinned brother with the shades on? But it was actually very interesting. His story is very intertwined in a lot of hip-hop history, going way back to DMX. I thought it was interesting. You know, you might as well. But let me go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. Drop Squad 52 out here on the left coast, the People's Republic of California. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here listening in amazement, and you trying to figure out my strategy, you know, as far as the Biden-Harris administration.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I mean, I appreciate it.
I already know the strategy.
Again, Mr. Ivey, you read some of my posts this morning. Those are not out of character for me to post those type of things during this time of year. As some of the people in the chop shop, when I put them up on game back in 2018 after the new tax law came out. So all I'm trying to do now, Mr. Ivey, is put people up on game to get ready for a Democrat White House with a slim majority in the House and a possible majority in the Senate. Because I guarantee you, they coming for your wallet. And if your money ain't right, if you ain't got your proper withholding, if you don't have your 401k set up right, if you don't have your distribution set up right in your 401k accounts or your IRA account, you better make sure, check your stuff now, okay? Because you still got time. This is the window normally when people can go in and make adjustments through their human resources. So I got receipts. I'm not telling anybody what to do with their money. I'm telling people, if you got money and you investing and you working and you've made it through this COVID thing, because Mr. Ivey, this morning, the Dow Jones Industrial Average could go over 30,000 or close to it. So I'm just saying, like I put in words in the chop shop, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. So if you got your money, you got the job, you got all that stuff, you better check it, double check it, and get it right. Because things are going to change, people. The Biden-Harris administration is talking about a whole lot of new things that are going to be obligated for taxpayers to pay. And it's called unfunded liabilities. So just get ready. They've already talked about it, but if you want to focus on other things besides what the real Democrat Party is about. So that's all I'm saying, Mr. Ivey. But you are right. You are right. The Republicans, they're going to go back to the money. It's always about the money, Mr. Ivey.
Unless the Republicans in the White House. You're right. They're going to start talking about the deficit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're right.
Deficit spending and our future, right. And we can't play for these liberal programs. I mean, I've seen it over and over again with the transfer of power.
Now, real quick, Mr. Ivey, on the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this election cycle is not over yet because we have a runoff election in January. So some of the rhetoric, some of the talking points that we're hearing from the media, from the Democrats, and a few other Republicans ain't really talking that much right now. But what you're hearing from the media and the Democrats right now, Mr. Ivey, is in campaign mode. It's all hands on deck to get those 2 seats out of Georgia. It's going to be tough, especially with my man, Reverend Arnott. I think I pronounced his name right. Mm-hmm. He might be the one that split, keeps the country divided. Because man, oh man,
why?
I don't think too many white folks in Georgia are going to vote for him because he's going to need some white folks this time.
Well, he won his
runoff.
He won his race.
Huh?
I mean, in terms of the popular vote, Reverend you
Ivey,
Arnold,
it was like
he won his race. It was just within a margin of victory that triggered a runoff election.
But Mr. Ivey, do you know how many other Democrats ran Okay, I mean, I know you know politics, but it was like 6 or 7 other Democrats that ran.
Right.
Okay. That was strategic. I get it. But again, now it's just those two. It's one-on-one. So he's going to need some white people to vote for him. And I really don't think Georgia has made that turn yet. It's getting close. But again, sometimes you could just have the wrong candidate for the right time.
I mean, if everybody that voted for him the first time comes out to vote for him a second time, he'll win.
But
So
that's
it's really
the point,
about
Mr. Ivey. Yeah, I know, but the Democrat vote was just sliced all up. It was intentional. Now, it worked, but now let's see how he performs going head-to-head by himself. And again, with his record, they're playing the Obama card on him, with the Reverend Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's typical strategy, but it works in the South. Ask Stacey Abrams and ask Andrew, I'm not gay, Gillum. So
Stacey Abrams is going to maybe run in 2022 for governor in Georgia. I hope she does. Hope she wins too.
Yeah, well, we'll find out if she's not part of the Biden-Harris administration. Then you'll know. But they're trying to give her credit for winning the Senate when this runoff is not done yet. And we don't know, but the political posturing, it's still going on as if the election is still happening.
True.
I'm talking about for president. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing turns out. But that's all I got, Mr. Ivey.
That's all I need.
Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out.
Yeah, he doesn't seem. Now, he was a little bit sour grapes like right after. Remember like that day after, the 2 days after, but he seems like he's gotten over it. Like the day after the election, he was in his feelings about that. He was like, it ain't over with Nate. He was really in his feelings. But then, Drop is a sensible Trump supporter. And I know he doesn't like when I say that, but that's what the truth is. He voted for the man twice, so you're a Trump supporter. But Drop has already told us he's going to vote for whoever is at the top of the Republican ticket. Like, if the Republicans nominated a big old pile of you know what, then Drop would vote for it. Well, they did, and he did twice. Oh, he's stewing right now. He's like, why are you talking? We're going to get off the phone, Nate. Well, I want to let you get your flow in. I want to get my flow in. It's the prerogative of the host. So I get it, man. I'm glad you're getting over it, Drop. He's already made the transition. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm glad to see the brother ain't all caught up in his feelings because it's over. It's over. It's a wrap. Looking forward to it. Elizabeth writes, if the Democrat vote was chopped up, now they should be united. That's logic, Elizabeth. And I could tell he didn't want to hear logic in that moment. You're absolutely right. That's why I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That means that should support the Democrat candidate even more. So we shall see. We shall see. Sean writes, Drop Squad is wrong. Only one other Democratic ran in Georgia. Dale writes, how do you know? I live there. We do have some folks down in Atlanta and in Georgia to check out the show. Appreciate you. Oh, my God. Where are we at, man? Listen, so yesterday I did an interview with Leonard Pitts Jr. Anybody hip to Leonard Pitts Jr.? Leonard Pitts Jr. is a black male columnist. And his column used to run in the Cincinnati Enquirer. That's when I first got hip to him. This is many years ago. It doesn't now. I'm not sure all the cities that it runs in, but I do know it runs in the Miami Herald. You can find them on Twitter right now. So we did a recorded interview. My patrons already know this. But it has some problems kind of uploading it. It looks like it might upload now. And I'm kind of torn. I mean, I could play the interview once it's finished processing. I can play the interview now, or I could release it as its own sort of interview on social media, or I could play it tomorrow. Today would work. I know a lot of children are returning back to CPS. My son is not. He's going to stay home and do the virtual learning thing probably for the rest of the year. I've already informed him. He's very aware of it. He was just sitting in my lap yesterday showing me his Christmas gifts. He's got a catalog. I think it's from Amazon. I didn't know Amazon did a toy catalog. And he sat in my lap yesterday evening after dinner, and he showed me everything that he wanted. He had everything circled with a check mark in the book. He wants almost everything. And he didn't just show me, but he talked about it in great detail, everything that he wanted. And it was so funny because I have a very good memory for certain things. I can still remember being a kid and just having that joy of Christmas and having that joy of just playing with your toys. And I had that moment with him yesterday. He's sitting in my lap. I'm sitting in our bedroom in one of our chairs. And he's sitting in my lap with his book open. And I just had a good time just, listening to everything that he wanted. He was breaking it down. He had read, like, this is for 2-year-olds. That's too young for me, Daddy, because I'm 5. And it was a great time. It was a great time. And then I tested my boy. I had to test my boy. I was like, are you going to ask Santa Claus for that? You know what he said? It made me so proud. He was like, he gave me a look. He was like, Santa Claus? I was so happy. I was so happy. I was like, that's my boy right there. I even gave him a little yada boy. Like, yeah, that's my son right there. And a damn white man coming to your house, dropping nothing off. We do the work in this house. I'm Santa. Your mama's Santa. I don't get some of you black folks still playing that Fantasyland game, but do you? Do you, boo? Do you? That's what you want to do. You go right ahead it. But I want to share that moment with you. You've had that moment with your kid, with your boy, or your daughter, and you can see that what you've taught them has sunk in. It was a great moment. I tested him. I'm like, let me test this boy. I was like, oh, you going to ask Santa for this? He was like, Santa Claus? I was like, it's working. Yeah. And nonsense. Yeah, that video's still processing. That video's still processing, so it won't be available. I just added some edits to it. I'll play it for you tomorrow. I'll play it for you tomorrow on the show, okay? It's timeless. I mean, a day is not going to make a difference. So to all my patrons, I told you today, it'll be tomorrow. I'll play that video for you. It's about a 30-minute interview we did yesterday, and I think you'll find it interesting. I like LP. I mean, he's got a real common sense, black-focused, black perspective when he writes, and I like talking with people in the media that create media. So you're gonna get more of that from the show. You're gonna get more of that from this particular show. And my interests are far bigger than politics. Now that we've gotten past the election, of course we got more elections, but I want to get more back to more of my roots. I'll say it again. This show will never just be about politics. This show is about people, politics, and pleasure. It's always been about that. It'll continue to be about that. And I want to delve into some other topics. Some of them may be, off the beaten path. I hope you can get into it. But when you tune into the Nathan Ivey Show, I want to get you're going to get a full spectrum of conversations on a lot of different levels. Okay? So look for that. People have asked me, and I think I found it. Like I said, I put the word out as I end the show. I put the word out again. If you are interested in doing a podcast, you might be doing a podcast. Perhaps we can work together. Perhaps I can amplify and enhance what you're doing. Perhaps we can develop something together. Maybe you can come into the fold and join the network that we're growing here with Sin Digital Media. One podcast in particular that I'm working on is hosted by a black female. I don't hear no nonsense about a black female. Well, then bring me some black males that want to work together. I'm down with it. But she talks about, black wealth building. Black wealth building. She talks about real estate. She talks about, and we'll be talking to people from the local area and beyond. And I think that the way I look at it is it's about wealth building. And I think those are the kind of conversations that we should be having right now. So look for that in the next few weeks. That might be an audio podcast first. But again, we're still working on it and developing it. But I want to give you a heads up to all my patrons. I am doing exactly what I said that I was going to do. I'm on that mission every single day, 100%. Speaking of which, coming up today at 1 p.m., tune back in to Ask Ashley. If you're working and you just maybe it's lunchtime, then plug back in on Facebook and check her out. She always has the juice, and your perspective is always welcome as well. You can always chime in. And then, of course, today at 7 p.m., valet service with Fast Pitch. She's going to park you mentally exactly where you need to be. Exactly where you need to be. All right? So don't miss it. That's today. And with that, I got to make a move, family. I got to make a move. Let me read. Falase writes, I got you. Thank you so much. I got you. Tamika writes, damn right, my kids never believed in Santa. Well, it's about that time of the year. And if anybody's ever listened to my show, you know that about this time of the year between Thanksgiving and I start giving you these anti-Santa Claus vibes. And some people might say, well, Nate, you don't need to do that. We already know it. But I've learned that ain't always true. Okay? And I just don't understand it. And I wanted to share that little story with you and my boy yesterday. It's just nothing. He looks like me. He's going to be much better than me, than me. Much better. Whatever I don't accomplish, as I die, I'm going to give him the microphone. It's funny as hell because we'll be at the dinner table or he'll be somewhere and he'll start dropping flows. So the other day he was like, one man, one microphone, one mission. I just looked at him and he looked at me. I was like, I didn't know that you knew that. He'll be reciting some of the other hosts. Because like I said, I'm working from home right now and my home studio is not too far from our living room. And so he can hear, me doing what I do. And as a father, same thing with my daughter. Oh my God. Again, I say it all the time. Again, in terms of the language, that don't bother me personally. I do that because I know that children are around. And I'm gonna have to press those rules a little bit more, I see. Don't get caught in your feelings when it happens. But I do that because my own children listen. My daughter will recite and we'll talk about stuff that happens on the show. It's great. I'll say it again. No one man should have this much fun. It should be illegal to have this much fun. But I got to leave you with that, family. I got to make a move. I know we're 5 minutes to 10, but I got to make a move. Again, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and like and share today's show. The show still has legs. The show still has legs. There's going to be the vast majority of your Facebook friends don't even know that I'm on. The vast majority of the people that you have on your Facebook page don't even know that this show is on. Because the way Facebook works is just because you share something, not everybody in your Facebook page actually sees it. That's why I share it multiple times if you're inclined to do so. My link tree is in the description. You can follow me and connect with me wherever we are. If you want to become a patron, please do so. Matter of fact, I'm going to be dropping an exclusive to my patrons right after this, sort of a post show. And for as little as $2 a month, you can help the mission to amplify Black voices in Cincinnati and beyond. Again, do whatever you feel like you feel inclined to do so. You might be like, Nate, I don't want to do that. Cool. No pressure, no worries. But if you are inclined to do so, I want to make sure I give you as many pathways as possible so you can help build this platform. I 100% believe that Cincinnati and beyond, we deserve. We don't just need it. Just like Black voters deserve to be inspired by the Democrat Party, Black audiences deserve to have multiple media platforms that are speaking to and dealing with your best interest. So if that's something you jive with, you can rock with, cool. All right, you can find my links in the description on Facebook and YouTube. With that, Viva La Chapas, Viva La Team and I. Shout out to my patrons. Shout out to you for being here. I really appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully better than ever. And we'll rock then. Have an excellent rest of your day.
Mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost.